Emi Martinez wants Manchester United move and Villa can't rule it out. What is the latest on the goalkeeping situation and why am I not a fan of this? And Mbeumo to be the next done deal at Manchester United. David Ornstein was asked who will Manchester United's next signing be, and he said it's very likely to be Mbeumo. And we've got big updates from not just David Ornstein on Mbeumo, but Romano has given us the latest, and Laurie Whitwell on Mbeumo and that deal being close. So we're going to talk about that. Set to be the next signing for Man United soon. Hojlund exit latest, Inter interested. Romano's given updates on Hojlund's exit. Romano's given updates on Sancho's exit. There seems to be some advancements behind the scenes in regards to Anthony's exit and Betis and the weird offer they put in, which I'll speak about maybe tomorrow. There's Rashford still thinks Barcelona in for him, Napoli in for Sancho, Inter in for Hojlund. There is some big updates in regards to exits as well. So, hello, and welcome back to Alice Talks Football, and welcome back to your 10-minute Manchester United news, transfer news, and update roundup. But we're going to round up all the latest Manchester United news in 10 minutes for you guys. So if you do enjoy today's video, feel free to hit that like button, and if you're new and want to see more, please do subscribe. It would mean a lot. Let's get into the news. So Ben Jacobs, who's been pretty spot on with his information lately, has said this. Emi Martinez has made it clear that he's interested in signing for Manchester United, and Aston Villa refused to rule this out. It could take close to 40 million to sign him. United have not made a final call on replacing Onana. So basically, Emi Martinez to Manchester United. Is he a better keeper than Onana? Yes. Is he worth spending 40 million on? Absolutely not. I think there's better, younger keepers out there than Emi Martinez. Emi Martinez is very, he did it at the World Cup, so he gets a little bit overhyped. Like, he's a good keeper, but he makes a few mistakes. And I think because he's at Villa and not Man United, if he makes a mistake, it wouldn't get the same kind of attention than if Onana made a mistake. And also, unless we sell Onana, we can't afford Martinez. Man United have made a final call on whether they want to sell Onana. The answer is yes. Onana was told months ago to go and find a new club. I reported that. I said Onana's been told he can go and look for a new club, but selling Onana will be difficult. But the player himself, with the 25% wage cut for not being in the Champions League, is open to a move. But realistically, unless Saudi come in, Onana's not going anywhere. Like Casemiro last summer, Saudi aren't coming in, so the possibility of Onana staying is high. We've had briefs about it in the last week. So for me, Emi Martinez can want to come to Manchester United. Aston Villa can refuse to rule that out, and they're happy to sell him to us. Of course they are, for 40 million. They'd be happy to sell him to anyone for 40 million. He's not a 40 million goalkeeper. But look, at the end of the day, 40 million, it's not worth it. If we sell Onana, get a good goalkeeper for 25, 30 million. If we sell Bayendier, can we get a good goalkeeper for 20 million that's actually going to challenge Onana? I want a new goalkeeper, not particularly Emi Martinez, particularly at that price. I want Onana gone. Onana's more likely to stay because, Onana's open to leaving, and Man United have told Onana he can find a new club. But unless a club wants Onana and is willing to pay Manchester United what they need, which is about 26 million, and give Onana like 200k a week, it's not going to happen. And believe it or not, nobody wants to do that. So it's more likely that, even if, we wanted Martinez badly, we probably can't get him anyway. We can't spend 40 million on a keeper unless Onana goes. I think Bayendier goes, 15 million keeper comes in and it challenges Onana. That's what I think will happen. So let's talk about the next done deal, which is likely to be Mbeumo. We've got updates from Whitwell, Ornstein, and Romano on this. David Ornstein said, Manchester United are exploring doing the Mbeumo deal, and he wants to join them. There's a very good chance the deal happens, but they're not there yet. So David Ornstein drops a big story saying, look, despite other reports, Man United want him. There's a very good chance that the deal is going to happen. So that's a bomber from David Ornstein, just reminding us, very good chance the deal is going to happen, but we're not over the line yet. But Ornstein is saying he wants the move, and there's a very good chance it happens. Romano said that United are still in talks with Brentford on a daily basis, trying to get a solution. But he said clubs like Brighton and Brentford, it's always difficult to negotiate for their top players. I mean, we've seen how difficult it is for other teams to get Brighton players. Caicedo went for 110 million. I think Cucurella went for 60 million plus, who have been Chelsea's two best players, I think, last season. And I think, the problem is Mbeumo was 55 million pounds. Man United come in, a few other clubs are interested. Brentford decided they want 70 million. United are expecting it to be 55 million. They don't like that they put up the price because United are in. United are now saying, look, 50 plus 10, 55 plus 5, let's make it 60 million. Brentford are now probably starting to lower from 70 to 65. United now trying to get it to 62. And if they can get it to 62, bish, bash, bosh, the deal is done. United want to pay 60 million in total. Brentford wants 60 million base fee. I think it's going to be like 55 million in total with add-ons taking it just over 60 million. It's one of those where we don't want to spend more than 60 million, but Brentford are just making it difficult. But the thing is, Spurs are now looking elsewhere. Rudy Galletti suggested that Spurs are sort of walking away. So now it's sort of us only going in for Mbeumo. That makes Brentford weaker. Brentford were trying to use Spurs to get the price up. Spurs have gone and looked elsewhere. He only wants United. So yeah, hopefully United can get the price down with Mbeumo. But the big thing David Ornstein said was this. So David Ornstein was asked on if a striker's next in line now that we've got Cunha in, and he said it's part of United's due diligence on that position, I'm sure, but I'm not aware of the striker being the next one through the door. He says that's more likely to be Bryan Mbeumo if they can strike that deal, and the striker situation will be addressed, no doubt. So he's saying, look, we want a striker, but the next signing, United's second signing, is likely to be Mbeumo. Mbeumo, Man United's second signing, likely to be the case from David Ornstein, saying it's likely to happen. Romano just saying there's talks going on. We know that. So with Mbeumo, it's just one of those that we sort of know it's happening, but it's just taking time, and it's a bit draining because it is taking so much time. It's like, please get it done. I want it over the line. Look at the fixture list. You know what I mean? But, you know, Laurie Whitwell, another credible journalist, even backed this up and just said, look, Ruben Amorim is pushing behind the scenes to get players that can make an immediate impact. And that's why we went for Cunha, and that's why we went for Mbeumo. We've been linked to players like Dibbling, but we wanted ready-made, proven goal scorers impact now because that's clearly what the team needs, and I'm glad that we've addressed that. He also said there's something he felt that is required, which is why he got Cunha and Mbeumo possibly coming in as well. You know, because they're proven, they're ready-made, they're in the prime, they're doing it in the Premier League now. It's not, you know, we've got Garnacho, we've got Maynard, but actually we've learnt this season, as good as they were last season in the FA Cup final, they're not quite ready. You know, we were too reliant on them. You know, we need proven, ready-made players, and then we can create a more stable environment for young players, but we're not over-relying on our youth, because it's not normal to rely on 19, 20-year-olds. And I think we're lacking players in their prime. So that's what United's plan is. And after Mbeumo, we will look at strikers. David Ornstein said after Mbeumo, we will have to do sales to look at strikers. So what is the latest on United sales? Inter are in talks with Manchester United for Hojlund. They would prefer a loan, but if that's not possible, they'd settle for a low amount to buy him. The good thing about Hojlund is he's on low wages. So selling him for a fee is a little bit easier because he's not going to be asking for crazy wages. Hojlund would like to stay and make it work at United, but he knows that he's not necessarily guaranteed lots of game time. Now, I think if Manchester United sign a striker, they could loan out Hojlund. But I think if Manchester United, considering we haven't signed a striker yet, I think we'd upset permanence for Hojlund. I don't think we'd send Hojlund on loan until we bring a striker signing in. If we bring a striker signing in and we can't get permanent deals for Hojlund, I think we loan him out. But if we don't bring in a striker, I think we'd want to keep Hojlund or sell him permanently. Man United want to sell him permanently. I think there's talk of Man United doing something like a 40 million obligation to buy if he goes out on loan, and they can delay the payment a year. There's talk of that in regards to Hojlund. And look, Hojlund's had some conversations with Milan. It's up to Inter. He's definitely one to watch. But again, Inter don't really want to give us the 45 million we want. United are ready to cash in. They want to do a loan. I think, look, this could drag on a little bit. Like, we'll have to wait and see how much Inter willing to pay. But I think this could drag on a little bit because I think United wouldn't do a loan for Hojlund unless we signed a striker, because we don't have the room for that. And if we sign a striker and we can't find a permanent, we'd do a loan. But I think if we don't sign a striker, I don't know if we'd want him to go out on loan, despite him needing it and being poor. In regards to Hojlund as well, Padella said that selling Hojlund will be difficult because of how much we've invested in him. We still have like nearly 36 million on the books for him, or 37 million on the books for him still. So that's why we need 40 million, which with his low wages could be easier to get. He's attracting interest from multiple clubs in Italy, both Inter and Napoli. Napoli are looking at him. They're looking at Nunes. They're looking at Grealish. They're looking at Garnacho. They're looking at Sancho. Napoli looking at everyone. No one in the Prem wants. But I don't think Napoli are really moving for Hojlund. I think Inter's the one to watch. Inter's the one Romano's talking about, and that could advance. I think this is one to watch this week. Another one to watch is Rashford to Barcelona still. This tells me it's going to drag out into August, and then Barcelona are going to say they can only do loans and try and be jammy and get him on loan. But Rashford will wait for Barcelona, even if they sign Williams. Rashford believes Williams' signing is compatible with his signing, as the English player cannot play all the positions in attack. So there's a feeling that Rashford still believes he's going to go to Barcelona despite them selling Williams. So that deal could still be on. It was also said Marcus Rashford really wants to play for Barca. He will reduce his salary and wage demands to sign for the club as well. So that would help. And Sancho should take some notes, because if Marcus Rashford is willing to reduce his wage demands to get out of Manchester United and play football and try and get back in the England squad, you know, Sancho had that opportunity to do that, particularly at Chelsea. Tuchel was favouring Chelsea's players for the England squad, and he's just went, you know what, I'm happy to just reject Chelsea, even though I said it's freedom. And if I can run down my Man United contract and not play football and get a big signing on fee, maybe that's what Sancho wants. You know, I don't think Napoli are going to offer him more than what Chelsea were offering him. So unless he just didn't want to go to Chelsea, but apparently he did, you know, it's like he should take notes. I think if I get why Sancho, you know, doesn't want to take a big wage cut, I get it. But like, if you want to have Man United as much as you say you want to have Man United, surely take a wage cut. Like Rashford's willing to take a wage cut. In regards to Sancho, Romano did say that Napoli are progressing in talks to sign Dan and Doy with personal terms almost agreed. Sancho remains on Napoli's list, but not at current salary/fee conditions. So while Napoli likes Sancho, he's got to lower his salary. United got to lower the fee. And I think United's fee of 21 million is quite reasonable, considering apparently City are asking for 40 million for Jack Grealish, who's older than Sancho and probably worse than him last season and on higher wages. But look, Napoli always try on. They got McTominay for 25 million. They always try on. Romano said that United want a permanent transfer for Sancho, but Napoli sort of want to do a loan for Sancho because Napoli want to do whatever's best financially, and that could be difficult. But anyway, people, that is your latest Manchester United news rounded up into 10 minutes. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Thank you for watching. Bye.